Welcome to the StockMatter.com studios. I'm your StockMatter Brian Johnson. Welcome to a new week. It is an abbreviated week of trading. Hope you guys had a great 4th. I did, same old, same old. I went up on a place called Dinosaur Hill. You guys can look that up if you want to find out more about the area I live in. Dinosaur Park, Dinosaur Hill. I don't know which one they call it, but you'll find it. And here in South Dakota, and that's where we watched the fireworks from. It was really, really nice. We were actually able to see not one, but 3 fireworks displays that were going on all over the city and beyond. So it was really cool. We actually got to see 3 total displays by the time it was all over with. And now it's back to work. I'm feeling very refreshed. I'm excited about the new week of trading. All right, breaking into the Dow. Here we have it on a 60-minute. You can see as the line runs down. I still like this line for what it is. I'm not 100% sold on it yet. How about that? But I do still like it for the time being. When we get back up and retest it, I'll have a better idea. If it really isn't acting as support or resistance, then of course I'm not going to care much for it. But at this point, I still really like it. It's still my line of choice at this juncture. We are looking for breaks above that line and ultimately above the 9,800-ish area for entries on the Dow. I don't know if that will springboard some sort of a huge rebound rally or not. But for right now, let's take it for what it's worth, and that would be a potential entry to the long side. Yes, I did say to the long side. Wow. On the Dow, so above 9,800. I would maybe only be looking at that as an intraday entry right now, maybe not a swing trading entry. And then below us is the 9,600 area. That is your shorting opportunity coming into the new week. As you can see, we have been down, down for a while. Coming back to test this blue line and holding above that blue line at the close of every day. You can see the tail makes it below, but by the end of the day, the candle finishes it right back up again, sitting right at and on this blue line. That's really the only other thing I can look at from a bullish standpoint is the fact that we have put in now a couple of days, Thursday and Friday, where the bears drug it down, the bulls were able to push it back up again. Not real ecstatic about the volume, and it was coming into the to a weekend, so we are certainly going to lose a few traders during the Thursday, Friday time period of last week. So keep that in mind, all right? Back of the mind type stuff. You got to look at the bigger picture sometimes. So I'm not convinced that we can't go lower here, and your drop is really below the 9,600 level. If we do. NASDAQ on a 60-minute also consolidating down here, waiting for its next push. Look for a push above the blue line, about 1780, or back below 1700 for your intraday trades. Nice consolidation that we saw on the 60-minute led to this right here as we hold the blue line 1, 2, 3 times as we move our way downwards. However, keep in mind that each one of these days, even though the blue line held, still went lower. So we can go lower in this market, all right? Nothing stopping us from doing that. Just because the blue line's holding doesn't mean we're going to turn around and have a major move to the upside. You want confirmation on that, and that confirmation comes when we start to break these upper levels. From a swing trader standpoint, like 1750, 1760-ish area, maybe gives you an opportunity to play this back to the upside. Got to be patient. From a weekly standpoint, we are below that 200-week moving average. This is why I said we still got room to go to the downside. And where's that at? That next level below us is 1650-ish. That's about what I'm looking at here on the NASDAQ for the bigger picture. All right, that's another 70 points away, 80 points away. That's a long ways for the NASDAQ to move. I will give, and always do, give the benefit of the doubt to whatever side it is. In this case, it'll be the bulls. I'm going to give the bulls a week to get this thing back above the 200-week moving average. So, still playing it cautiously coming into the beginning of the week on all of the indices. SPX making it, consolidating, looking just like the NASDAQ as you see here, coming right back into this line. Once again, not my most favorite line in the world, but I think it works for the time being. We'll see. Back above 1030, 1035-ish probably takes us back towards that 1050 area. So that might be a good 20, 15, 20 point trade for you if you're looking at it from an intraday standpoint. Back below about 1010-ish or so. Looks like we're winding our way downwards back towards the 1,000 mark. Below that 80-ish, 970-ish, and then 950 below that. Here it is on a daily doing what all the other indices are doing, and that is holding this blue line. A hit of it, dip below it, back above it, dip below it, back above it. So you can see it doing exactly what the other indices are doing. Wait for the break. Don't let your bias assume it's going to go one way or the other. If you do, you're going to get stuck in a bad trade, and then you're going to end up in panic mode as you wonder when to get out of that particular trade. You turn into hope modes. A lot of people back here were going long right around in this area, and now they've held, and they're in a world of hurt right now. Don't be that person. I don't want you trading like that. That's not what I set my site up for. Just don't be that person. Let the charts tell you which way to go, and if it doesn't go your way, get out. Save your capital. Capital preservation. Very important in trading. If you're going to make it in trading, you got to learn to do that. Here we are on a weekly, though. Notice how this one's well below these lows. The SPX just really feeling the rush here. Really bleeding hard over the last few weeks, especially the last 2 weeks, coming from 1131 down to basically 1031. That's a 100-point move in just 2 weeks alone, erasing all of this movement by the bulls back here to close below. Now, what am I going to do? Yes, I'm going to give the bulls 1 week to get this thing back up and above this line, but I would be looking hard at this overhead resistance area. And this is right around the 1030-ish area. That's why I'm calling for, an entry above 1030, 1035-ish before you look to get long the SPX. Even from an intraday standpoint, this thing could cause some concerns for us. VIX on a daily. This was the caveat last week where we had 2 down days in the markets and 2 down days in the VIX. That is non-confirming. Back into support here, resting up in the red zone if you're looking at it from the daily, and just below the red zone if you're looking at it from the weekly standpoint. Look at that big tail on the VIX. So we will watch to see if we get any confirmation from the VIX as this week pushes forward, regardless of which direction the markets go. I don't necessarily play the VIX based on technical analysis. I know you can buy options on it. I know you can actually trade the VIX. However, for myself and my own trading, I really just use it as a barometer to see where things are at in the markets currently. Apple on a 60-minute, look at it consolidating down here, hitting beautifully off of this 243.20-ish area. So those will be my areas to watch coming into the beginning of the week. Back above 250 and back below 243. Yes, that's a big span, but in trading, patience pays off. Holding this blue line, and that's where we've been bouncing. Okay, so we will continue to watch that carefully coming into next week. These markets show any strength, I will be looking to Apple for my intraday trades to the long side. I like to trade Apple, like to trade Baidu and Google. I love to trade all of those. I'm not afraid to trade them, regardless of price. I think they move very well, but you've got to be very cautious as well. Apple is one of them, and it's in one of those periods right here. Wait for that break back up and over kind of that 250-ish area. Look to play it back to 255 to 260, somewhere back in that area for your overhead resistance at that point. This is it right here, guys, 240, 240, and that is the weekly 20-period moving average. All right, we have come back to almost test it, basically test it. We came awful darn close. Apple's $247 basically, so if we get within 70 cents of something, I'm going to call it pretty darn close. That's pretty darn close. Breaks below this, though, the route could be on for Apple. We could be looking at the 50-period moving average before we stop again, somewhere around 210 to 215. FAS is also something to watch coming into this week. Consolidation, looking for breaks below $17.50 or ultimately above $19 on FAS for your trades. From a daily, you're going to want it to get back up and over this blue line. This is really, really messy in here. Or below 17 could lead us lower. FAZ then would be above this $19 mark for the more conservative. And back below about 17, let's call it 1760, 1750 for your entry to the short side. Consolidating right now, you can see it up above the 200-day moving average, these things moving sideways. Once again, breaks above 19 are your entry, or breaks back below about 17 in this case. Gets back below that 200, you're going to want to be very careful if you're long from above it. If you got long above it, you made good profits last week. If you held over the weekend, wow, brave. Brave, holding over a 3-day weekend. Hopefully it works out for you. Now, I don't think there's been any major news that's come out this weekend so far, so we may just open kind of flat to start the day tomorrow. We'll see. It's anybody's guess. But if you held over the weekend, I hope things work out well for you with those buy and holds, or maybe you're short. I think I'd rather be short than I would be long at this point. But wait for those levels to be broken. Take your trades then. That gives you the best chance at making money in this market. Don't blow up your account. Don't do it. Take the time, set up the trade, be patient, wait for it to break levels, make your money that way. All right, guys, I'll be back with you again tomorrow night. Have a great one. Bye.